Hello, everybody. Here we are. 8. Why do I still hear it?
Because you told me to turn off the dryer.
I said both.
Oh my god.
Somebody needs to listen with their damn ears. Not with a phone in their face. 8:48. That's not too bad.
No, it's not.
Okay. All right. We're going to give it a minute like we always do. People get on here. Punkage. He's always fast. Hey, Bev. Stranger.
That's a blast from the past.
Blast from the Max and Irma past.
Yeah.
I was craving some Max and Irma the other day. Remember?
She was by my office
Dang.
and it used to be Max and I was there.
No. Hi, Molly. From Vermont.
Molly from Vermont.
Molly from Vermont. JoJo's in the background.
Molly from the hood.
Yeah.
Molly from the block.
Molly from the block. Oh my God. Kathy and Scott. Can't see. I'm going to the eye doctor tomorrow, so
Good.
maybe I'll have to increase my prescription again because I can't see shit. JoJo, turn off your GD phone. God
That
damn
was
it.
a total mistake. I'm listening, I swear.
Kai Kai's on. JoJo's watching. Hi.
Only for a second.
They're just live and on video.
I can't do
Can't
it.
get
I'm
enough.
watching it on my phone.
You can't get enough.
Oh my God.
You need more wine though. How about that?
You do need more wine.
How about that?
Okay. Well,
You wanna
here
start?
we are. What's today?
The 14th.
Today's
14th.
Tuesday.
The You did drink the whole bottle, JoJo. I wasn't
There
gonna
is
have
a
any.
surprise.
It does help your vision, Kathy. But, oh God, I was not. I was literally like, I'm not gonna drink wine tonight, but
And she did.
then I did. So here we are. We were
Change of
supposed.
plans.
So we had Wednesday was the day we went to he went to Jacksonville, and routine. Hop down, do the next step of this whole process, going toward polio, and then we had a little skirt.
Yeah, they did the MRI with this special new thing, but the main thing
What is
is
that called?
perfusion.
Perfusion. Okay.
Perfusion helps to show where the blood is flowing to, but that wasn't really the issue. The issue is the tumor kept growing and the swelling was a lot bigger.
So the tumor was at.
4 centimeters, so about a centimeter smaller than the original one.
Than the original, and still small enough to do polio.
Yep.
Technically.
Concern is that the swelling and the tumor together are taking up a lot of space, and if you put polio in there, then the immune system goes and gets it, and it creates swelling. That creates some problems in a tight environment. Start having more side effects and issues with motor function and thinking and executive functions, sort of speaking, moving.
Mostly speaking and moving, I think.
She had 4 things she kept saying.
I mean.
So at any rate, I was having some headaches, and after getting back from there, my headaches were getting worse. Similar to the way I had the headaches in the very beginning, the first one. So I was taking a little bit of Tylenol. That was kind of helping, taking a bit of the edge off. But as they got a little bit worse, the Tylenol wasn't really touching it too much.
Well, so you went down to Jacksonville, found that.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that other study that came into the loop.
Right, so there's another study that they said that we could do, which was a study that goes in and does a craniotomy, removes the tumor that's there, and puts in, what was the virus? Adenovirus or something. And then some other infusion that they do every 3 weeks. It would have been a lot more work, but
Go to Jacksonville
every 3 weeks we had to go to Jacksonville.
But interesting because resection, so you take it out and then put this in.
So you kind of get to start over and you don't have to wait to regrow. If you do a resection on the polio, you have to actually wait for it to regrow because they have to inject it into the tumor for that study. Last week I'd gotten a notification from another doc who isn't involved in any of the studies, and he was familiar with the polio study, and said, you know, that you probably have a little bit more wiggle room than you think because you're not even taking any steroids right now. So what they had said the whole time in terms of steroid dosing is I could take 2 milligrams twice a day, but no more than 4 in 24 hours. So for the polio, and they said that over and over and over at Jacksonville. So when I went on the ski trip, that's what I had done, and it helped a bit on the ski trip. So when I came back and I heard the other doctor mentioning, well, you've got a lot of wiggle room because you've got the steroid there too that you could do that will help your headaches, that'll help the swelling, and it would. So I figured, well, what the hell? I'll just take a steroid to help take the edge off on the swelling and the headaches, and it did help a lot. And then finally got in contact, and I've been
well, and so one of the problems we were debating on this study, because I was having a really hard time. It's interesting, but I was having a hard time with it because if you go, I mean, it's like what we talked in the last video, right? It doesn't matter.
If you do one thing, sometimes.
Or like I'm not growling at you.
Oh,
I'm just
that
saying.
sounded like a growl to me.
I mean, it was a growl, but it wasn't at you.
Sounded like this to me.
It wasn't to you. It's the frustration of the process because, you know, this doctor and Dr. Cavalieri in Jacksonville is like, well, you know, there's a lot of swelling, so polio could happen, but there's also this other thing, which is cool because you go in, do the resection, so you're starting like that. However, if you do that study, you can never do polio. So it takes polio completely off the table. And, you know, polio's been around for a long time. And it doesn't have great results, but it gets some results.
When the results happen, they tend to be pretty good.
They're really good, but it's like 20%
20%.
of the population. So if he happens to be in that 20%, we're removing that option if we go with this other thing.
Right. So that was a
I'm
concern.
like, I didn't really feel comfortable with that.
You could do polio and then swap to the other thing.
Right.
The challenge with that is if you're doing polio, when do you pull the plug on it and say, okay, let's go resect and do this other thing?
Right, because it, like I can't remember if we mentioned this in the last video, but each MRI looks worse after polio. And you can't really tell if it's like worse because it's swelling or worse because it's tumor. Can't tell. And they said they don't even pay attention to the first couple. Well, then you're like, well, it's already 4 centimeters and it's growing this fast, and you don't pay any attention to 4-week MRI or 8-week MRI, then the shit could be friggin' gigantic,
Yeah.
and we wouldn't even know because it could be just dead tissue. Like, who knows?
Could be swelling,
So-
but they wouldn't really know what the difference is.
Yeah.
So the polio had me a little bit concerned in that right, not knowing when to make a change, and also the risk of damage kind of during that waiting period while it's in there and it's doing something hopefully, but it may be creating some issues, and maybe those issues end up being longer term. So we had some concerns with that, and we were trying to get all these scans to our doctors here that did our surgery the first time to say, hey, what do you guys think? There's one of the doctors that's here that actually originally came from Duke, so she's seen the polio a good bit more, so we're really interested in her opinion. And they just got back to us today, and I've been having worse headaches.
Oh, so you didn't finish because I interrupted you.
You never do that.
Sometimes I do it when
Okay.
you don't tell the story right. I have to go fill in the pieces.
Okay.
So there's
So
that.
we're
But you were taking that steroid, and we were like, it was okay to take it because on polio you could take it. So then he starts taking it 2 days ago. Again, just to help manage the
just
headaches.
to help to manage the headaches, and then
And they Jacksonville finally got back in touch, and they were like, oh, well, you have to wait 4 weeks if you're going to do the adenovirus now, because you can't be on steroids for 4 weeks.
And we didn't know that.
We didn't know that. So
And we had been on steroids for the ski trip, and they knew all about that. They never even brought it up. So anyway, not a perfect system. We knew that going into all this craziness.
System.
So at any rate, I continue to have some headaches and feeling kind of groggy. Definitely not 100%. And We heard back from the doctor that's at Emory right now, that's a surgeon.
Which, by the way, when you're waiting, like 5 minutes, it's like 5 days. It feels like.
They were really slow getting back to us.
Freaking
My
sucks.
mom literally drove through like rush hour traffic, this disc down to Emory so they could read it. That was on Thursday. They didn't call us back on Thursday or Friday. I was calling and sending through the portal. Didn't get anything back until finally today. Today we got something back.
And no voice for a second. Today.
Yeah. And the doctor from Duke said, hey, I looked at the scans and there's a good bit of swelling in there, and the tumor seems to be growing pretty quick. We would suggest that you do surgery instead of the polio virus to start with. And that was really what we were looking for, is direction from somebody there. And she helped with that. We met her before, as well as Dr. Olson, the first doctor that did the surgery. So there's a new game plan, which is on Tuesday, I will go in back to Emory for a full resection. And that'll be very similar to what we had the very first time everything was taken out. And should be in the hospital like 4 days, guessing 3 days. Tuesday through maybe Friday. Hopefully we get out Friday.
Yeah. No, if you're
And
stuck there for the weekend,
That would not be good. Yeah.
you can't get out.
No, that would be bad.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the new plan, people. We're working it.
That's the new plan.
Yeah.
So it's good.
Having a plan is good.
The plan is good.
Yes.
And you're feeling.
I'm feeling better because I couldn't imagine if they went and put something that's going to make me feel probably way worse in my head right now. I think some bigger stuff would start happening, like the seizure stuff or the paralysis on the left side or those kinds of things. I'm feeling just kind of groggy already and listy. I'm definitely listy. So that's not good. And it getting worse and worse wouldn't be really a way to fight it. So we'll start off clean, and then we'll see what happens and try to put off the regrowth as long as we can through some normal kind of chemo stuff, and maybe this Optune crazy helmet that we were looking at using before, if you remember.
Shake
Probably,
your head.
it's already shaved.
Mm-hmm.
But if you remember in episode 3 or 4, we were talking about that.
Episode. I don't know how many episodes we have.
Yeah, probably quite a few. So then, I guess the game plan in my mind is when we get regrowth, then the first thing we'd probably do is polio. When we had a little smaller deal in there and some more space to attack it. And then if that didn't work, then we would always have the other study potentially.
Or whatever else
maybe
comes
something
along.
new.
Who knows?
There may be something completely different by that time, so we don't know.
What who will do this part? Will it be Dr. Reed? Like, when will they do another MRI? Because before we were in
I don't
the
know.
radiation chemo club,
Yeah.
so that
I'm
was
sure he'll
already
do one
set out.
every,
Like, how do
every
we?
couple months, I'm guessing. But I haven't talked to Dr. Reed about that.
Because we gotta catch that. We gotta be able
Yeah,
to
well,
nip it in
he
the bud
knows
real
that, and that's the whole
fast.
reason why we're doing it. So I'm guessing every couple months.
I don't remember after the first resection when they did a follow-up MRI.
Yeah, I remember that was the one that got red. That we thought was awful. I remember
Yeah, that was awful.
terrifying.
That was awful.
I think it's like 8 weeks. No, like 4 weeks.
Wish I could read the comments because I would love to be able to comment back, but I can't see shit with my eyes. My eyes are so bad.
Alright. You wanna
Yeah.
try mine?
No, they won't look good on me. I'm gonna go with fashion.
Fashion over function.
Wow.
Fashion over function.
Can't see, but I look good.
I
look
don't
good
look
doing it.
good, but I look better.
When she
Yeah,
said
like
not
I'm like,
together,
"Grr." I noticed in the last video, every time I was trying to read a comment, I was like,
Yep.
that's not a good look. I'm gonna avoid it.
Just
I'll read your
Sit
comments
back.
afterwards
That's
and
right.
then respond. So pre-op on Friday.
yeah. Surgery.
Jess is
on
gonna go with you to
Tuesday.
pre-op.
Yeah.
Then Tuesday we'll go down.
Beanie's got a volleyball tournament this weekend, so.
And Hallie, they have their
And
first
Hallie,
volleyball
yeah.
tournament. And then we will go Tuesday morning, Tuesday sometime.
Tuesday sometime. I think it's an afternoon.
Surgery's
surgery.
at something,
I
2:30ish.
think it's in the afternoon. Yeah.
And then
Then we'll report back.
we'll update
Yeah,
somewhere.
somehow,
And
somewhere.
then-
Keep the peeps up to
Want me
date.
to update from post-op, your favorite place?
No, if I'm in that hellhole again, I don't want any.
We gotta call in our people.
I have. I've
Okay,
already called
gotta
it.
get us out of there,
Yeah.
out of the trenches
That
with the
place
common
is-
folk. We can't be there.
The place is rough,
It was awful.
and they make me drink this thing that they say if there's any lights on or maybe
Oh
windows
yeah,
open, I like burn.
that's cool though. Talk
I got a
about that.
suntan. So this,
That's interesting. Cause you didn't do that last
I
time.
didn't know. Apparently, I got to drink some sort of concoction that lights up the tumor better,
Did
so
you
that
do this?
when they do
Yeah.
the surgery, they can tell if they're going in and getting all of it out. I remember reading about that actually
Mm-hmm.
and asking them if they're going to do that, and Olson was like, "No, I don't need that."
You don't need to do that. He's
Yeah.
done 5 million surgeries.
Yeah.
He's like, scoop. So
But apparently,
it
after you
does.
drink
It
the
lights
stuff,
up the area, so
you
she
can't-
knows where she's getting, if it's tumor or not tumor.
Right.
Wait,
And
wait, wait.
then-
So you're like glow in the dark.
It's
yeah,
like glow in the
inside,
dark.
kind of glow in the dark for
Yeah.
what pops up on what she can see,
Yeah.
and it also
Is she looking
radiates or
under a
shows
microscope
something
or
like
something?
the vessels and things that she doesn't want to hit, so it helps to kind of.
Guides her.
Yeah.
I mean, that's cool.
Very cool.
Um,
And also, she's gonna send part of it off.
Yeah, so we'll do samples of the tumor. And also, it said she was going to take out the dead tissue, yeah? The
Yeah, if
dead
it's-
stuff.
Yeah, so there's this other perfusion thing that we did tends to show blood flow into the tumor, and if there's no blood flow, if it doesn't show blood flow, then normally that's necrosis, dead tissue, because dead tissue doesn't need blood. But the tumor is like a hog for blood, and when the radiologist looked at it and the
This
people at
MRI in
Baptist,
Jacksonville
Yeah.
that he just had.
they looked at it and they said it's
It's suspicious.
It's a little suspicious that the blood flow should be heavier to that area with the size of the tumor and that tumor being there, but it wasn't. So there were probably more necrosis there, or some at least. And what Tong said today was, yeah, we definitely think it's tumor, but there's probably some necrosis built in there as well. But we're just going to take whatever's there out, and then we'll send it to the lab and see what's what.
Uh-huh. Okay.
That's it. That's all I got.
Until then,
Until then,
we have 1 week to go.
yep. I hope that those 24 hours are not as brutal as the first 24 hours were.
I mean,
Good.
it's brain surgery.
It is.
But now you have an
it is brain
appropriate,
surgery.
you have several appropriate shirts you could wear.
Yeah, I did.
You should wear it. Why not? Maybe I'll wear one. That's it.
That's it. Thanks for tuning in, peeps. Keep me in your thoughts.
He's ready to go to bed.
I'm always ready to go to bed. I slept so much on Monday.
He's tired.
Tired.
Here's the cat.
This is
The
the
evil
evil
cat.
cat.
She wants to be in the video. All right. That's all.
Yeah. Thanks.
I'll keep you posted when we know stuff. He's like literally bye. Bye.
Bye.
He